Oh, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Thank the baseball gods that the Phillies once again blow out the Mets in this series. It's a very weird series, as you probably can guess. Every win in this series, well, for basically every game in this series, was a complete blowout for both teams. Phillies blow out the Mets twice. The Mets blow us out yesterday. It was just a very weird series overall. But it was a weird series that the Phillies ended up winning 2 of 3, which was what I asked coming into the series. It was what I asked. Not the way that I thought it would play out, especially with basically every game being so lopsided. But I guess we take it as it is. We take those. We definitely take those. And I would definitely take today's game 100%. Jesus Luzardo, good job. Good job. We needed the really good version of Jesus Luzardo tonight, and he provided he provided us that tenfold today. He gave us the elite version of Jesus Luzardo that basically we have been waiting for since his previous, really bad starts. We were really waiting for him to get back to this form, and he brought it back at a really good time. He was really good against the Chicago Cubs. I'm not going to downplay that, but the 3 starts mixed in basically in his last 4, the 3 of the last 4 starts have not been the best, and he really saved his best for tonight because Phillies really needed it. And then the offense, they have an explosive inning, score 5 runs, a couple of long balls, Kyle Schwarber, Edmundo Sosa with a 3-run shot, Nick Castellanos remains red hot with the bat, and some good defense in this game, and just overall, you shut down the Mets lineup once again from your pitching standpoint. And you really don't have to use many people from the back end of your bullpen. Jesus Luzardo goes 6 2/3 innings. Romano, finishes off that 7th inning. Lazar comes out for the 8th. Of course, he allows the home run to Francisco Lindor. And then Matt Strahm comes out to shut the game down in the 9th inning. And that's all she wrote, basically. Can't give enough credit to Jesus Luzardo, man. He really needed a start like this. He really did it. And like I said, that start against the Chicago Cubs was really good for his standards and, from the entirety point of his season. But this start was just really good. And I think there's been a stat that's been going around that Jesus Luzardo's career against the Mets, he has a sub-2 career ERA against the New York Mets, so I guess he just continues that dominance over this franchise, and whew, thank goodness. Thank goodness. 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts on 107 pitches. Very good stuff from Jesus Luzardo in totality in today's game. The Mets only had 4 hits. Phillies had 10 hits, and a couple of long balls, like I said, a couple of extra base hits, and it turned out to be a pretty good game. The top of your lineup was really good through, 1, 2, and 4. Alec Bohm, I don't think, recorded a hit in today's game. So he did get a sac fly in today's game, but that was basically more insurance runs. But overall, your 1, 2, and 4 hitters did pretty good. Also, Otto Kemp had a huge at bat in this game. He also missed once again his first career home run. It died right at the warning track. So he's getting closer, I guess you could say, but not close enough. Not close enough. But you see Buddy Kennedy get into the lineup today. He has a walk in today's game. Edmundo Sosa, 3 for 4. Just overall, a very good game. And then you take sole possession of first place in the NL East. And I think the Braves go to Atlanta starting tomorrow. I think they have a 4-game series with the Braves, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they do. They start a 4-game series with the Atlanta Braves before we go to Atlanta to play the Braves. So we'll see if the Braves continue their dominance over the Mets and they can just continue this very bad stretch for the Mets and prove that maybe yesterday's game was just an outlier for them, that they were just eventually going to end their losing streak. But that just means the long period of losing will continue. They'll just snap something eventually. But it's funny, too, because Edmundo Sosa, earlier in the ball game too, he was on base, and he got picked off of second base, which was not pretty, which was very bad, and he made up for it in a big way. But in the moment, it was like, oh, come on, man. Come on. Can't have that happen. But going through the process of today's game, after a leadoff single by Lindor, Jesus Luzardo retires the rest of the Mets finally in the top of the first. Phillies go down quiet in the bottom of the first. It was really a quiet for a few innings to start this game against Peterson, which probably was to be expected with, this lineup. Bottom of the second inning, Phillies go down 1, 2, 3. A couple of 1, 2, 3 innings for the Mets in the top of the second and the top of the third. Bottom third, Sosa reached it on the infield single. Kennedy walked, but then eventually Sosa got picked off second base, and then, Rojas grounds into a fielder's choice. Trey Turner then strikes out, so nothing happens there. Top of the fourth inning, he walks Juan Soto, allows a 2-out single to Nimmo, but then he manages to get Torrens to ground out. Then you go bottom four. This is when the Phillies basically blow the game open. Kyle Schwarber, leadoff home run in the fourth, crushes the ball to dead center field, puts the Phillies up 1-0. Nick Castellanos then doubles. JT Realmuto works a walk. Kemp then with a runner on first, or with a runner on first and second, singles to drive in Castellanos to give the Phillies a 2-0 lead. So good on them. Advances JT Realmuto over the third base. And then Edmundo Sosa, second pitch swinging. He gets a sinker or a hanging slider over the middle of the plate. He crushes it into the Phillies bullpen, puts the Phillies up 5-0 on a 3-run shot right there. Phillies got a couple of more base runners. Rojas walks. Turner reaches in on an infield single. Schwarber comes up for the second time in the inning. And he got a ball that was down the middle of the plate. It was a hanging curveball, and he popped up in foul territory. So that kind of sucks. But you give yourself a 5-0 lead and give a chance to Jesus Luzardo for him to breathe, for him to relax, knowing that there's not as much pressure to pitch with a 0-0 game. Now you have a 5-run cushion. And what does he do to respond to that? He gets a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the sixth. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fifth when the Mets go to their bullpen. Top six, Luzardo, another 1-2-3 inning. He battled in an at-bat with Juan Soto. He managed to get him to strike out, and they kind of had a stare down, or Soto stared down Luzardo or something like that. It was weird. It was like Soto was smiling. I don't know. It was just a little bit of stare-off, I guess you could say. Bottom sixth, Edmundo Sosa did have a double. Then Marsh came in to pinch hit for Kennedy, and he grounded out. Nothing really happened there. Then Luzardo comes out for the top of the seventh. Alonso strikes out, Nimmo singles, Torrens then lines out in a very long at-bat, and then Romano comes in, gets Taylor to ground into a fielder's choice to end off the seventh inning. Bottom of the seventh, Trey Turner with a leadoff single. Kyle Schwarber with a single moves Trey Turner over the third. Alec Bohm with a sacrifice fly makes it 6-0 Phillies, and then Nick Castellanos with a double that scores Kyle Schwarber from first base. So another classic moment of Kyle Schwarber running around the base pass, which is always hilarious. Puts the Phillies up 7-0, and that's basically all the offense for the Phillies. Luzardo pitches in the top of the eighth, allows the home run to Lindor, and that's basically your entire ball game. Phillies lineup in totality, Trey Turner goes 2 for 4 with a run scored. Kyle Schwarber 2 for 4 with a solo shot. Alec Bohm over 3, but he did have the sac fly. Nick Castellanos 2 for 4 with an RBI. JT Realmuto goes over 3 with a walk and a run scored. Otto Kemp 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Edmundo Sosa, fantastic day at the plate, 3 for 4. Was a triple shy of the cycle. He had the 3-run shot in there as well, which was huge. Buddy Kennedy's first crack at the majors this year. He goes 0 for 1 with a walk. Then Marsh came into the ballgame, went 0 for 2. Then Johan Rojas, he went 0 for 3 with a walk. Phillies with runners in scoring position, they went 2 for 8, but the long ball does help, and it made a major impact in today's game. Other than Jesus Luzardo, Romano threw 4 pitches, finished off that 7th inning. Then Lazar, he allowed the home run. The Francisco Lindor allowed the 1 hit, struck out 1, blah, blah, blah. And then Matt Strom struck out 1 in the top of the 9th inning to finish off the game. So, good win. Good win. It was much needed after that horror fest that was yesterday's game. And I'm just going to be a little petty. I'm just going to be a little petty here. Why couldn't you do that yesterday? Why couldn't you do this in yesterday's ball game when I was there? Why did I have to go and see the horror fest that was the Mets hitting 1 billion home runs? Why can't I enjoy what you did on Friday? Why couldn't I enjoy what you did tonight? Why you got to give me the horror show? Is it just me every time I got to go see the Phillies play the Mets, it's always horror? I think the last time I saw the Phillies beat the Mets in person was Gene Segura's walk-off home run back in like 2019. I was in college. I'm way out of college at this point. I don't think I've seen the Phillies beat the Mets in person in a long fucking time. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Why couldn't you do this yesterday? But I digress from my pettiness. It's a good win. It's a good series win. It doesn't really change my mindset about the team, because obviously, the flaws, we all know the flaws. But I'm not going to bring that up mostly tonight. I just wanted you to win the series. You get yourself first place in the NL East by a game. And who knows, maybe the Mets go down to Atlanta and they get their asses smacked. But that also means Atlanta's getting hot. What did Atlanta do in their series that they just played? They played in Miami. They lost to Miami today. So did they lose 2 of 3 in that series? Did they lose 2 of 3? Yeah, they lost 2 of 3 to the Miami Marlins after they lost 2 of 3 to Miami after sweeping the Mets. So maybe the Braves just weren't a good hot. Maybe they just own the Mets. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. And as we look at the standings, Phillies are 47-31 after tonight's game. They are 1 game ahead of the New York Mets. They're 46-32, and the Braves, they are 11 games out there, 35-41, 6 games below 500. There are a plus run differential team, the Atlanta Braves, that is, but they are 6 games under 500, which is very weird. They're really bad on the road. They are really bad on the road. They're 13-26. Holy shit! The Phillies are the only team in the NL East that is a above 500 record on the road. That is crazy. The Mets, they're 2-8 in their last 10. The Braves are 7-3 in their last 10, but that's also combining with sweeping the Mets. Let's see what their record's been. So they won. Okay, so they won 3 series in a row before Miami. They won 2 of 3 against the Brewers. They won 2 of 3 against the Rockies. Then they swept the Mets. And then they lose a series in Miami, so that kind of really doesn't mean anything for the Braves, I guess, at that point. But then they followed up. So basically, after 3 straight series, before 3 straight series wins, they got swept 2 series in a row by the Diamondbacks and the Giants. They actually lost 7 in a row. Jesus. So they're very fucking bipolar, I guess you can say. They're very fucking bipolar. Yeah, Frank, we think the Phillies are bipolar. Holy fucking shit, the Braves are. Holy shit. They lose a series. Well, obviously, they lost the series to the Phillies 2 of 3. Then they lost a 2 of 3 series to the Red Sox. Then they got swept by Arizona. They got swept by San Fran. Then they won 2 of 3 against the Brewers. They won 2 of 3 against Colorado. Then they swept the Mets. And then they lose a series to Miami. Jesus. Their offense is probably exactly similar to the Phillies. They just they can't. They're not consistent at all. Maybe that's the case for the Braves. Who knows, though? Very weird teams this year in Major League Baseball. But yeah, it's weird stuff. Like I said, very weird stuff. I'm just trying to look at more info right here. But obviously, with the Phillies, you have a day off tomorrow, and we can enjoy the day off without having the dread of the result from tonight. That's always fun, right? You don't always want to go off on a day off after a big series against your division rival and you lose that series and then you just dread it the next day because there's like no game the next day. And like, okay, let's just, go right to the next one. Distraction, focus on the next one, get to the next series, and you just push this series into the toilet. No, when you have a day off and you lose a series like this, you kind of have to sit on it. And thankfully, we don't have to sit on it. We got a series win, so we can enjoy our day off in fucking peace. So after this series with the Mets, you have the day off tomorrow, like I said. Then you go to Houston for 3 games. Ranger Suarez on the mound against Framber Valdez. Wednesday, Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Colton Gordon, and then Zach Wheeler on the mound on Thursday afternoon against Hunter Brown, who is one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, 8-3 with a 1.88 ERA. So this Houston series might be tough. This Houston series might be tough for your Phils. Then after Houston, they go to Atlanta. Then they're back home against San Diego and Cincinnati, and then they go on the road for 6 games before the All-Star break in San Francisco and San Diego. So interesting stretch for the Phillies. It'll probably be one of their tougher stretches of the year. Excuse me there. But it's a good series win. It is a good series win. Good series win. I definitely needed this. And I also have Game 7 of the NBA Finals on in the background, and it kind of looks like OKC is running away with this. I feel so bad for Tyrese Halliburton. Blew out. I'm assuming he blew out his Achilles or he tore something in his leg. What is that, like the third time that happened in this playoffs? Dame did that to his ACL or his hamstring, and then, Jason Tatum did the same thing, and now Halliburton in this game. I know Halliburton was coming into the past 2 games with a leg injury. He probably just made it way worse. Or is it the same leg with Halliburton, or is it a different leg? Is it the opposite leg? Because that injury, just seeing it happen, like you saw, like the way his leg like bent or just like snapped or something like that, or basically tearing. I'm assuming the Achilles, and instantly going down. He's in pain. He has to be helped back to the locker room. That is just a horrible feeling, man. That is just a horrible feeling, especially with the way Indiana forced Game 7. Jesus. It's crazy. I feel bad for Tyrese Halliburton. I feel very bad for Tyrese Halliburton in this series. I do. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But overall good stuff. Overall good stuff from your Phils. We really needed that start from Jesus Luzardo. I think that just cannot be, undermined because of how much he's been struggling recently. But I also do think there's a tweet right here that I saved from Corey Seidman. Yes, I did. So, Corey Seidman posts basically, I think this was after Luzardo's night was done, or this was after the game ended. The 3 best offenses Jesus Luzardo has faced this season have been the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Cubs. 25 and 2/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run in those 4 starts against those teams. So I'm assuming he's faced the Mets twice, if I'm not mistaken. Has Luzardo faced the Mets twice this year? He probably has, and I just don't remember it. Let me go find Luzardo. He probably did pitch fairly good against the Mets early in the year. He just didn't get a win because the Phillies didn't do anything in that game against New York. Yeah, he went 5 1/3 innings. No, that's San Francisco. Did he play the Mets already? Did he play the Mets? It doesn't say he did. Does not say he did. Then how would he have 4 starts against those guys? How would he have 4 starts? That's a weird stat. How is it 4 starts? I don't know. I'm not going to overjudge. I'm not going to overlook. But, desperately needed it. That's basically everything. Desperately needed this game. Desperately needed this win. Desperately needed this series win. And just hopefully the Mets continue to go on their losing stretch. And yesterday's game was just a complete outlier. I hope that's the case. I really do. But good series win from the Phils. And just other things, Schwarber obviously with the other home run. It was good to see that. And basically Kyle Schwarber this month has been more home run than really anything else, which is still very impactful from the Kyle Schwarber standpoint, from the Kyle Schwarber experience. And I don't mind that whatsoever. He's just definitely not as dynamite as he was in the first 2 months of the season, where he was basically doing everything possible. Trey Turner shows his impact still. Another multi-hit game for him. Edmundo Sosa, a really good game for him. And he's probably going to be in the lineup a little bit more because I believe in the Houston series they're facing a couple of lefties, obviously with Valdez. So you might see Sosa in the lineup again. And we'll just see where this thing progresses. But obviously still, it's the same thing with it. We know how good the starting rotation is. And if you score for the starting rotation, you score for most of these guys, you're most likely going to win the game unless your bullpen fucking blows it or your offense doesn't score. But we all know how good the starting rotation is. It's just a really bipolar offense and a brutal bullpen. So, we all know where the upgrades need to be. You need more power in your lineup. Oh, he pitched against the Cubs twice. I forgot about that. I forgot that he pitched against the Cubs twice. That's where the 4 starts come from. I forgot that he pitched against Chicago twice. Yes, okay, yeah, there it is. 6 innings shutout baseball. Yeah, there it is. I did not see Cubs twice. I apologize. That is bad on me. I am fucking blind. Thank you for reminding me in the text messages there, Steven. And speaking of text messages, Steven also left another one before this one. A great series win for the Phillies. Hit off Peterson and Garrett, which they never did before. Luzardo shoved, and you get momentum and confidence when it comes to the Mets now. Rough series coming up with Brown and Valdez both set up to go against the Phillies, but right now I'm feeling better about this team. The pen still has to be fixed because it is dog shit, and you need one more power bat. Yeah, that basically sums it up. And then he brings up the stats for Luzardo: 7 innings shutout against the Dodgers, 6 shutout innings against the Cubs, 6 innings, 1 earned run against the Cubs last week, and then 6 2/3 innings tonight against the Mets, no earned runs. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, he didn't face the Mets until today. I was like, he didn't face the Mets twice, did he? No, he faced the Cubs twice, and I'm just fairly stupid. I'm just very stupid because I can't read. So, don't mind me. We also just got a voicemail in here from Franklin, so might as well get to that. I think we did get a text earlier in the day as well before the game. Yeah, it was from Austin. He says, I'm in Norway right now, so the game isn't starting until 1 a.m. for us here, but damn, they better take this series, please. Let's go, Phils. Hopefully Austin is asleep right now. Hopefully he didn't stay up that late to watch the damn game. But yeah, they won for Austin over in Norway. I didn't. He's in Norway. Gee, good for you. Good for you, man. And watching Phillies from across the pond. Good stuff. But let's get to Frank. Let's get to Frank, see what he's got to say. Got to bring this up for you guys so I don't forget about that. And where we go.
Hey, Amadeo. That was more like it. After that dreadful performance yesterday, this was more like it. I love to see Jesus Luzardo. He shoved. Great bounce back game for Edmundo Sosa. Offense did really good. Schwarber hit a dong, of course. And yeah, I like to see this momentum continue into Houston. It's going to be tough, but I think they can do it. Also, your beard is fine. Don't shave it.
I forgot about that guy yesterday. I forgot about that guy. I'm surprised he didn't call. Obviously, he's probably a Mets fan. I would only call him when his team wins. He's probably not going to pay too much attention to when they lose. So, he's probably crying right now, maybe. Who knows? But I'll welcome him back if he wanted to join back in the stream, in the comment section or something like that. I don't mind it. I know one of my buddies is also a Mets fan for some reason. I don't know why. He's a Sixers and an Eagles fan, but he's a fucking Mets and a New York Rangers fan. I don't know how the fuck that came out to be. He basically did it in middle school to mess with me because he knew I hated the New York teams, and somehow that joke turned into him actually having fandom for those teams. I don't know why, but yeah, doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know weird people. I know weird people for some reason that want to be both Philadelphia and New York fans. Why? Why? And then they jokingly did like, yeah, I love the Charlotte Bobcats, and obviously that was a fucking joke. But well, thankfully that joke didn't go too far, even though the Bobcats don't exist anymore. But but the Hornets, but still, ugh. Both Philadelphia and New York fan. I don't even know how that's physically possible. Man. Weird stuff. And it's starting to get really hot in here. Obviously, before I start these streams up, just so there's nothing on in the background, I do have a portable air conditioner because the central air in this house does not come up here for some reason. It's also an old house probably built in the mid 60s or something, like the 50s or the 60s or something like that. So for some reason the central air just doesn't work in the upstairs of this area. So I have the portable air conditioner, and I just turn the air conditioner off before I start these streams so you guys don't hear anything in the background. When I do end the stream, I will put that on. I put my room to a nice 60 degrees because me and heat do not work together. Do not work. If it's higher than 70, 74, 73, if it's higher than that in the enclosed space of the building, it is too hot. It is too warm. I need some cool. I need something cool. I need something cold, especially when I sleep. I am a cold sleeper. I need the room to be like below 70 for me to sleep, even like near 60 for me to sleep. I am a cold sleeper. I don't know why I got into that topic because it just started to get warm in here. And obviously, the next few days in the city of Philadelphia, it's going to be very fucking hot. So if you're planning to do something outside, please just find a way to, be in shade or find a way to get inside to stay cool. Because the heat's going to be pretty extreme for the next 2 days. I think the next 2 days could get into the hundreds in the city of Philadelphia, if you are in the city of Philadelphia. Just putting that warning out there. So it's probably also a good thing the Phillies aren't playing in Philadelphia this week. So to prevent from that major heat wave that's coming in. But off all that stuff. Too much distraction. It's a good series win. It's good stuff. Good stuff from the Phils overall. And what other stuff that happened? I'm also seeing it was when Luzardo was on the mound. Trey Turner made a very nice play at shortstop. Slow chopper the shortstop, barehanded it, and beamed it over to Otto Kemp at first base. So good stuff there. And overall, it was just a good series win. I know we keep saying that it was a good series win for the Phillies. Something that they desperately needed. And as I keep poking up to the Game 7, and yeah, it's pretty much turning into a blowout now for OKC. They are most likely going to end up NBA champions, bearing any type of insane collapse, but they're winning by 19 with 6.5 minutes to go. So most likely that's going to end up in that result. I still feel bad for Halliburton. That just sucks to see him go out like that. It sucks to see him go out like that. But yeah, we don't have any other voicemails in the chat, in the voicemail line. Got some of you guys here in the chat that we can get to for a little bit, and before we end off this stream, and I can get back to the cool weather, oh, the coolness of the air conditioning. And yeah, there's definitely some interesting things for this week. I'm still debating what I want to do for the NHL draft. I still have to hear from some people from what I'm doing specifically. I don't know if I'm going to the Flyers party in Atlantic City. I don't know what Snow the goalie is doing because I probably could be with Snow the goalie. If something falls through with that, I'd probably just go to Brodes' draft party with WYP at Chickies and Pete's in Glassboro. Still really debating, or I could just end up staying at home and doing a live stream for you boys. I don't know which could it be. So, but it definitely will be an interesting week. So, with the week that is ahead, bearing any other news, it's most likely Phillies recaps tomorrow will be an off day for us, like bearing any breaking news. Phillies recap Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday will be primarily Flyers draft focus, so that'll be the focus there. And yeah, that'll basically be it. I know the weekend series is the Phillies against the Braves, but the Flyers draft will take the priority. And yeah, that's basically how I'm trying to figure out the week right now, but I think that's what it'll be. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. So some of you here in the chat, Tyler, another belt to ass to wrap up the day. Couldn't sweep or shut out today, but a series win is almost just as good. Exactly. Yeah, the Sosa really made up for that. For getting picked off at second. Jesus. Michael, we needed a big series win. I was fearful about Luzardo, but he came through tonight. He came through and then some. He was really good tonight. Yeah, R.I.P. to Halliburton's Achilles. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm bad luck, Julian. Oh, thanks. Thanks. That's why they couldn't win yesterday, because I'm fucking bad luck. Thanks. Too many regular season games, and every series does not need to be a best of 7. I kind of disagree with that. It brings more entertainment value, in my opinion. But I do agree they do drag it out, especially with the NBA. They really do drag out these games, like for like days off in between. Like there doesn't need to be as many days off in between. That I'll agree with. Most series should still be game 7s. So yeah, that'll do it for tonight, everybody. Appreciate you all for tuning in as always. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. A great deal. Do not pass it up. So appreciate y'all for tuning out. Good series win for the Phillies tonight. And I'll see you in the next one, which most likely will be after Tuesday's game in Houston.